What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my Santry Hills build, and in this episode we're going to be looking at the cookhouse, which is this building here. This is the 5th building I think I've built on so far in this place, and obviously we're going to carry on and build on all of them as we go along. And remember, just in case you don't actually know, the only mod I'm not using here, the only mod I'm using here, not the only one I'm not using, the only one I'm actually using is place everywhere, so I can actually place wherever I want to resize things and rotate stuff and whatnot. So when I'm finished, I'm gonna actually put this up so you can download it and take a look at it yourself. So the first thing I tackled when kind of building these kind of little houses and anything really is I start cleaning out the area, making sure I get rid of stuff that I know I'm not going to use or that I can build myself anyway if I need them, and keeping stuff that I can't build. So stuff like these tires and this random ass toilet and these bits of crap on the floor, and I think that mailbox is why I can't build, and the cars and whatnot. Because I can't build them myself, I normally just store them off to one side just in case I want to use them later on, rather than getting rid of them and kind of regretting it. So the first thing I tackled after cleaning the place out was the roof, and I wanted to go with something a little bit different. I normally just go with the kind of crappy roof and just put some flooring inside it just to kind of deal with it. And for this I wanted to go for something a little bit different, and it turned out pretty good. This is the barn roof, I'm pretty sure it is. And all I did was place it across. It's kind of doubled up, and then I placed the kind of smaller kind of top middle bit, I don't know what it's called. I placed that kind of along the top, and as you can see here, this is kind of like the pyramid bit I kind of placed in. This could actually, I think this might actually be the warehouse roof, not the barn, because this is obviously the warehouse thing and it's got the right roof. So I could be wrong there. I probably am wrong. Yeah, so all I did was build that. I did try out like placing some different types of roofs kind of inside to fill in the gap. I wasn't too happy with the way it looked. I kept it there just to show you guys, but I'll probably end up removing that anyway. So after I kind of worked on the roof, finished the roof off, I added these walls on the side to make it kind of work a little bit nicer and to make the building look a little bit different from the other buildings in the settlement. And all this is the warehouse there, obviously. I just placed that in. I placed this kind of little bit that stands out just because I wanted to take away the kind of flatness of the side because it looked a little bit boring. So I ended up just making a kind of little kind of sticky out tower bit. Now I've put a fireball inside there just to add to it. Yeah, and to finish it off, I chucked down some of these wooden pillars just to add a little bit more texture, a little bit more detail, a little bit more business going on. And then I believe I tackled the rest of the sides. I'm pretty sure I kind of dealt with the sides before actually moving on to the vendors themselves. I didn't put anything on the walls down in here. Well, I just filled in that gap right by there behind them drinks machines. Yeah, and I just placed some walls and whatnot around the back just to kind of give it that kind of apocalyptic, kind of crappy but trying to like make it better than it is kind of look. And obviously I added pillars where I felt they kind of worked. So the next thing I ended up tackling was the vendors themselves. This is kind of like a cool trick I've used quite a lot throughout my builds. It's basically putting vendors in either doorways or windows. It kind of gives it kind of that shop look, a realistic kind of shop look. It makes sense. And all I simply did was added, I'm pretty sure this is the best vendor, the doors on, and this is this second best one because it's got a cloth kind of roof bit. And I just sunk them in. I left this one stand out a little bit just to give it more texture, and it kind of looks a little bit better than this one when it stood out because it's got the metal doors and whatnot. And this one I sunk in quite a lot more. And a big thing as well to obviously make stuff look a little bit nicer, I always want the signs to kind of fit properly and not be sunk in. So I made sure they kind of stuck on to whatever I needed them to stick on, and I made sure nothing kind of glitches weird as well. Whenever I'm placing stuff, that's one big thing I always try and like avoid, that nothing kind of weirdly glitches into anywhere. Or if it does, as you can see here, I kind of cover up with crap. And that's all I kind of did with the bottom bits as well. The main thing I kind of used was these cages. I use these cages quite a lot, especially throughout this build. And these kind of just give it a nice kind of solid box, while still going with the kind of apocalyptic, kind of using a lot of sheet metal to kind of build with. And then I just put some like shelves and crap, and I've even got like pretty sure that's a bookshelf on the floor as well, with a table on top. There's the kind of area people would go up and stand on. Kind of did the same thing over here, so I got like a little table who would stand on, and I just chucked in some random bits and bobs just to add a little bit more detail to the kind of vendor itself, so it didn't look kind of plain and boring like all the other vendors. And I even chucked down this claw thing on the top to show obviously what it is, and a little sign by here. So I actually made a vendor as well. If I go all the way around here, you can see I got a vendor on the back as well, and this is kind of like the back kind of seating area. And I basically did the same thing over here, and this is the best vendor you can build. And I kind of just placed that in, made sure it kind of lined up nicely. The bottom I think was a little bit funky, so I had to build some fences and whatnot to kind of cover that up and make it look kind of a little bit nicer. I put a shelf and some fences down just to kind of cover up the mess and whatnot, and I put these kind of metal shelving because the top shelf bit up here looked kind of crappy and weird, it was all glitchy. And I put this fence post to cover up the metal kind of, I think it's metal, or it might actually be, yeah, it's metal kind of window frame bit. It kind of looked a bit weird, so I placed in a wooden one instead because it kind of fitted it a lot nicer. Okay, so the next thing I kind of just went ahead and began adding all the detail and the decorations and whatnot to the front. As you can see, I've added these nice cool little lighting things. I really like these. They go really well. I did some of them on the pillars. I did some of these bottles. I now have all the building stuff in the DLC. Pretty sure I used a mod to do that, or I can't remember how I got that. Pretty sure it's a mod. It's one of the ones you can just download from like in-game menu, whatever it's called, to get all the building stuff. And all I did was place down a crap load of stuff that kind of was relevant to this build. Obviously these bins that have loads of food and crap in it, place the candle on top. It's kind of barman guy thing, because that kind of works. And these barrels, of course, I like these barrels and stuff too. They make it really easy just to add kind of clutter to an area without actually having to put in much work. And I got a flag as well, just why not? Why not? As you can see, I got a Nuka Cola kind of alien guy over here that looks like Jiminy Cricket. And a nice machine. I even got a little poster, eat well, live well. I see a sign saying refreshing. So it's not too much, but there's enough that it looks quite busy, and it kind of works. It looks really cool actually. I'm kind of proud because I didn't really take that long to build this stuff, which I'm kind of surprised how actually it turned out. I might spend less time building stuff now, just because I know it still works even if I don't take the piss, kind of doing fine detail and whatnot. Yeah, this is kind of the with this build, public people, well, just general people, can't actually enter this place. It's only for employees. They kind of sell out the sides. That's why it's got a nice little sign over here saying employees only. And it's on a poster. I got one of the like things, so I used that trick again, which basically taking a posters, sticking them in the wall behind it so you can kind of light them up. It looks kind of cool. Yeah, I think the next thing I ended up tackling was this kind of little kind of public dining area right by here where people can come and eat. I kind of made obviously the floor. I extended it all the way out so it goes out to the end of the roof here. As you can see, this roof actually goes further than the garage itself. Simply because when I was placing the roofs, that's how far they stuck out. If I didn't want to place it that, the roofs would only go to about here, I think it was. So I wanted them to go all the way out, and it kind of added a nice kind of section to this area, and it all kind of worked out. So yeah, I tackled the flooring first, and then I think I went ahead and placed these kind of junk fences in the floor to make this kind of little kind of junky fence all the way around, as you can see, making sure everything lined up and looked proper. And it kind of works, it works. I'll place down some randomized flooring crap over here as well, just so it didn't look too weird with the junk fences. And then I just finished it off down here by placing a normal fence. And the simple fact, I want people to kind of be able to see what's going on here. I don't want to completely block off the front, and it's just enough, it works. Yeah, so the next thing I ended up tackling, I'm pretty sure was a lighting. These are just a string of lights going all the way around. I've obviously resized this one quite a lot because it's huge, just to fit in the gaps. And then I tackled the seating. I used these kind of diner seating. I've used quite a bit before, because I really like them. I think on my Starlight settlement I used them quite a lot on the diner. I didn't want to like do it all, only wanted to add a couple just because it makes sense. And I added a table with the one side to have the normal chairs, and then obviously have some crappy ones on the other side, just to kind of break it up a little bit. And then I added this kind of full kind of little seating area over here with random chairs, just so it wasn't too repetitive and it looked kind of more realistic. I've also got some like random seating areas as well in here, and then I just went ahead and added obviously vending machines, an ice box fridge thing, whatever they're called. See a bin. I got a magazine stand, nothing actually on it. Should probably put stuff on it, but I can't be bothered. I got a cigarette machine thing. I shouldn't actually call it. Obviously in the UK we kind of have a different word for them, but it might be a little bit offensive for the American listeners or the non-UK listeners. But yeah, let's go ahead and go inside. I just got a, pretty sure this is a warehouse door. It's a metal one. Obviously these don't clip into place, you kind of got to place them perfectly yourself, which I did. And yeah, and this is the interior of this place. It's not too much going on in here, but it looks busy. Even though it's not that much in here, there's enough that it looks pretty busy. So let's start off with the first room, or up here. I think this was the first room I tackled. So I just moved some stuff around and obviously got rid of stuff I didn't like. And yeah, we just got these kind of little areas. Got some fish and whatnot, blocked off this kind of little area. I can't remember why, but there was a reason for it. Got a nice little cooking station here with a barbecue, obviously putting a campfire in there, making it more realistic. We also got the tills as well from the Nuka Cola. They kind of look really cool, the Nuka Cola tills. Got some fishies. Placed in one of these lights as well, because as you can see, these lights are throughout. But I placed in the candle ones as well, because they kind of just go with the build, and obviously it's more realistic in this world. Got a radio, got a nice candle, got a little cat bowl, whatnot. Doored off this room, there's nothing actually in this room. I was going to put make it into like a freezer area, but I don't know, I couldn't be asked. I just find it was kind of just no point adding stuff in there, because nobody ever is going to look in it or probably go in there. Easy enough just to kind of deal with it like that. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the next room I tackled was this room over here, and this is obviously where I think it stood. Like, got some vendors, yeah, they have vendors, drink vendors, machines. Got a milk machine, got a fridge that is actually broken, so the fridge was already here. Got a nice box again, and just placed down some random bits of junk, as you can see, some boxes, because these were kind of glitching through and I needed to cover them up. basically why. Yeah, got some more of these barrels and boxes, took down some fish and these containers, took down some tables and whatnot over here as well, and put down like foot locker and the toolbox and whatnot. And I put down some of these cool glowing bottles that I kind of like, but I kind of don't like. I like them because they're kind of cool looking, but what I don't like about them is how clean they are. I wish they were a little bit more dirtier. Because, I don't know, they just look too clean for me, for my liking anyway. That's why I kind of didn't want to go too overboard, but I did want to use them. They're kind of cool looking. Yeah, in this kind of end section by here, we got a nice little barbecue area, a till, obviously. I think we got a till on this one as well, yeah. Makes sense. We got this like Nuka Cola stand thing. I don't even know why I placed it there, but I thought it looked cool, so we just dropped it there. And this kind of cooking area here as well, which was the one outside, just out by there. Yeah, so it kind of looks pretty alright in here. And then to finish off my build, I went on ahead and made this kind of eating area out the back, because I kind of came across these tables with the umbrellas, I guess, on top. And I didn't want to use them in here because it didn't make sense. So I was like, it's a perfect little area out here to use them. And as you can see as well, I placed down these bush sign wooden painted things in the Nuka World, because I kind of thought it looked pretty cool. I've also placed down some over here as well, and a bar guy over here as well, and some lights and whatnot on the fence. And I just went ahead, placed down some tables with the umbrellas, and mixed up the colors, because you got the standard ones and then you got the Nuka Cola ones. So it allowed me to add obviously different colored chairs as well, and a few other chairs as well, and even like a little table somebody can sit on. And added a candle for this table. I wanted to mix up the lighting a little bit so we weren't too repetitive. And I got a lamp over here, and I got one of these bottles kind of hanging down from the top over by there. And obviously I placed down some junk and whatnot around. And that's basically it. That is this build. And it looks pretty cool. I was actually surprised how good it looked. Because like with all my builds, I don't actually know what I'm going to do. I kind of have a brief idea. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a kind of a food shop place building. And then that's basically all I know what I'm going to do. And then I just go ahead and start building. And just go with the flow and just go with what feels right and what kind of works, and I just mess around. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to get like frequent updates, so I do it quite a lot, like you get like updates in like a week or two in advance of what I'm building, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. So I upload like daily on Instagram, sometimes even twice, of what I've actually built and what I'm building. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and goodbye.